Good morning, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is April 17th, 2023. And yesterday I did a video called Ears to Hear, the hybrid solar eclipse of April 20th, 2023. I shared some information with you, and I want to go over some of the information I shared with you yesterday and add new information. This is a part 2 on this series. And we'll see what else we can find after this. But for now, I have more information I want to share with you. Very important information and very powerful information. So going over what I shared quickly yesterday, in the video I shared with you that the two great American eclipses from August of 2017 to April of 2024. If you go to the exact middle date between those two eclipses, it comes to December 14th, 2020. There was another total solar eclipse over South America, and it was the first vaccine in the United States on December 14th of 2020. Then I shared with you this amazing information about the two hybrid eclipses, just as we found a middle point in between the two great American eclipses. I wanted to find the middle point of the two hybrid eclipses, one that hasn't happened since November 3rd of 2013, and now we have another hybrid eclipse of April 20th, 2023. The middle point is 1,727 days. And the middle point then is July 27th and July 28th of 2018. This was the day of the longest super blood moon of the century. It was over Jerusalem. This was on Israel's day of weddings, Tu B'Av. The midpoint is 1,727 days, and then July 27th is 727. If you look both of these numbers up in the Strong's Concordance, 727 in the Greek is rapacious, or a sudden snatching. It's together with the word harpazo, a violent snatching away. And when the Lord comes to snatch his bride, and then in Hebrew, 727 is ark. So I shared all this information yesterday. Now I went into some study, and I wanted to see a little bit more about all of this. So this is what I have to add to this. Okay, the first thing I want to add to this is I want to go back to the November 3rd, 2013 total solar eclipse, which was the last hybrid eclipse before the April 20th of 2023 hybrid eclipse. And this is the eclipse path. I wanted to look at this because I saw that it was going through Eastern Africa, and I looked at all of the information about the eclipse and where it was going, and I found this amazing information. If we go into Kenya, where Barack Obama is from, okay, I mean, first thing I see on this is that the eclipse goes, I mean, look at where the eclipse begins, right over on the east coast of the United States. Okay? The eclipse begins right over the partial eclipse. The total eclipse is just off the coast of the United States, but the partial eclipse, from the very beginning of the eclipse to the very end of the eclipse, connects the east coast of the United States right over to Kenya. Okay? Now, if we look in Kenya where the eclipse crossed, okay, I looked up Barack Obama's village where he's from, okay, and he's from Nyangomi or Nyang'oma, Siaya, Kenya, also known as Kogelo, Nyang'oma. And so I looked up Nyang'oma, and what I found here, if you look at the picture there, Senator Obama, Kogelo, secondary school, you'll see the state. Okay? N-G-I-Y-A, Nayang Oma. Nayang Oma. And so this has to do with the state that this is in, and this is connected to Obama's birthplace. Okay, well, it just so happens that the duration of the eclipse in this exact location is 2 hours and 16 minutes. See, on the bottom there, I put the duration, 2 hours, 16 minutes. Okay, what do you think about that? This Antichrist eclipse going right through the birthplace of Barack Obama in Kenya. And then we have another 666. Well, that's another, wow. Okay, so I wanted to show you that. Okay, so we have a connection to the first hybrid eclipse directly through Barack Obama's village. And then we have the connection to 666. And we have the connection to the eclipse linking the United States, pointing right over to Kenya. Now we have the April 20 eclipse that is going to be right over Australia. Okay? Now it just so happens that just a few days ago, Barack Obama was in Australia. Okay? Barack Obama was in Australia. And so we have a connection to Obama's recent visit to Australia. And we have a connection to this eclipse coming up that is over Australia. And then we just had another storm that went right over, Western Australia. And the name of the storm was Ilsa, and that means the promise of God. Okay, so we have God showing us the signs that he had promised. And all of this is connected to these eclipses. Okay, so before I show you the next piece of information that I want to share with you, I want to go over this one more time. Okay, so these two eclipses over the United States, we have a middle point of the first vaccine in the United States, and both eclipses are over the United States. Okay, so we have a sign for the United States, and the middle point is the first vaccine. Okay, keep that in mind. And now I'm going to show you what I found in this next graphic. So we had found that from the hybrid solar eclipse of November 3rd, 2013, the middle point in between that hybrid eclipse and the April 20th, 2023 hybrid eclipse was the super blood moon over Jerusalem on July 27th and July 28th, 2018. And so what I wanted to find is I wanted to find the middle point between the blood moon over Jerusalem and this hybrid eclipse. And so I'm going to go in between the last two eclipses to see what we can find in the middle of these two eclipses. And this is what I found. 1,727 days in between July 28th and April 20th. Now, if we go from July 28th, 2018, 864 days, and from April 20th, 2023, we go back 863 days, we have the middle point in between these two eclipses at December 8th of 2020. December 8th of 2020 is the middle point of these two eclipses. Now, just as over the United States, we had two eclipses that marked the first vaccine in the United States, now we have two world signs from a hybrid eclipse over Australia and a supermoon over Jerusalem. This is a sign for the entire world. The middle point was the first vaccine in the world. December 8th, 2020, 6 days before the vaccine that happened in December of 2020, December 14th, 2020, in the United States, the first vaccine in the world was given in the UK on December 8th. And between these two eclipses, again, it's marking the first vaccine. But this is a sign for the entire world, not just a sign for the United States. Okay, so here's a summary of everything we have found, okay? Up until now, we've got the two hybrid eclipses, and we found the middle point was the super blood moon over Jerusalem of July 27th and 28th of 2018. Then we found the information on the November 3rd, 2013 eclipse, which was right over the village of Barack Obama, linking from the United States over to Kenya, and the eclipse time of 2 hours and 16 minutes, once again confirming the Antichrist 666. Then we have the eclipse over Australia, and Obama was just in Australia. The other thing we have is the whole connection to the 1727 days, and July 27th being 727. 727 in the Greek is a sudden snatching, and 727 in the Hebrew is arc. Now we have the information of the two great American eclipses over the United States and the middle day of December 14th, 2020, marking the first vaccine in the United States, a sign for America. And between the blood moon over Jerusalem and this hybrid eclipse of April 20, 2023, the middle day is the first vaccine worldwide of December 8th, 2020 in Great Britain. So we have the signs for America, we have the signs for the world, and I would say all of this put together with everything else we've already shared previous to this is confirming that we have found the sign of Jonah. Do you have ears to hear what the Spirit is saying to the churches? Are you ready for the return of Jesus Christ? I pray you are blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.